Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Kim Duramo, founder of the American Institute of Mind-Body Medicine, and welcome to Mind Body TV. I am very excited to share today's topic, which is about the blocks to abundance, harmony, and health. Might sound a little esoteric, but we're going to get very sort of hardcore about what's happening and why so many people are suffering and struggling, having chronic illness, chronic pain, chronic fatigue, my health is falling apart, and kind of all the other areas of life too that reflect abundance, fluid living, full on living and help us feel fully alive. And these things get blocked. Like, I can't have what I want. I don't know what my passion is. I don't know what I should be doing. I think I'm doing everything right. And there's so many things that dynamically keep us from living that full out presence of really receiving the nectar of life and enjoying the truth of who we are, letting that be expressed. So for those of you who are listening to the recording, I would just like to acknowledge you and welcome you here as well. And I always welcome comments and questions and things like that. So I'll try to keep this as interactive as possible and look at the questions that are coming through. So in the work I've been sharing, for those of you who've been to drkimd.com, there's a video right there on the front page about these frequencies of consciousness. We can be in this low frequency where we're really in resistance and like shutting everything down. We can be a really high frequency where we're participating in life, fully alive, feeling joy. And, it's like, oh, everything makes sense, And these frequencies that we can be in, the different consciousnesses, will affect what's happening to our physical body. They'll affect what's happening in the brain and how we sort of perceive everything. They'll affect what's happening in our body and how much harmony we have and balance, and hormones are balanced and the body's digesting healthfully and things are working well. It'll reflect what's happening physically. And I call these these three different octaves. And so in the outer octave, this is a lower frequency. It's like, I gotta go after life. I'm learning the rules and I've gotta go work hard, be a good person, get ahead, get a good job. And then, I'll have this whatever kind of life. I'll have this happiness. I got to get the right kind of job, the right degree so I can get the right job. And then I can make money and then I'll be okay. And then I got to get the right marriage and partner or children or whatever. And it's always these externals. And that's where we live in the first octave. It's like work, work, work. I know the rules. I'm following the pattern. Ultimately, what happens is life will have that not work anymore. You either get cancer, or my spouse left me, or I went bankrupt, or I got fired from my job. It's like life happened to me and whoa, I'm doing everything right. Why isn't this working? And so then it's an invitation. We bump out of that first octave, right? Wait a minute, everything I thought was supposed to be the right thing, none of it makes sense anymore. And it blows our mind and it can be really hard. Usually it is a really life-changing hard thing to go through, but it will bump us out of that way of thinking and into this new awareness of wait a minute, I'm co-creating my reality. I'm part of the equation. Life is responding to me. And so then we move into the second octave. And the second octave is much more expansive. And it's about personal development, self-improvement, consciousness. Maybe you start doing yoga and you get much more engaged with how I'm creating this life. And then with that comes this perspective of positive, negative, good and bad, right and wrong. I've got to be positive. And that's the key to life. I shouldn't be negative. Let me get away from all these negative people. That's what's been wrong. And we try to sort of climb the ladder. I just did a video yesterday called Transcending the Emotional Scale. And it's really about getting out of that rat race and climbing the ladder. I want to feel joy and I don't want to feel anger and shame, or I want to have love and freedom and I shouldn't be, angry and frustrated. And we're trying to get to these higher levels, but we're working really hard at it. So maybe you get a job that's, okay, I'm going to find something that's really my passion. What's my passion? I got to find my passion. And then I'll have this fluidity and harmony and abundance. And it's still conditional. So we do grow a lot and learn a lot in that second octave. And there are many, many people teaching really wonderful things in that second octave. But what we will ultimately find is that it is limited. We're still working it. so be exhausted. For me, like I read every book about everything, health, wealth, success, relationships, fill in the blank, to try to sort of get it. Like, okay, what's the magic formula? I get it that everything I learned is the limitation and I'm going to move beyond this. But it was exhausting and ultimately really depleted everything I had. So it's a matter of moving beyond that second octave into the third octave, this center, this core, what's called neutrality. And this is where we move from the duality of good and bad, right and wrong, working hard, be positive, don't be negative, figuring it out, into embracing all that is. This is the space where we receive infinitely. This is the space of I love and accept myself fully. I can feel joy in every moment, no matter what's happening outside of me. This is the space where there is unconditional harmony in the body, not conditional harmony. Like, okay, I feel really good. I hope it lasts. I hope it doesn't go away. Oh God, no, I fell back into depression. Oh, this is really bad. The conditionality of like working it versus the unconditionality of embracing all that is. When we move from the second into the third octave, this is a conscious choice. It's not like life's going to just, life will assist you, but life doesn't just do it for you. You will consciously choose. Like for me, it was like, wow, I have a good life, but I am really working it. There's got to be more. There's got to be something more fluid and more abundant and even more ease. And I thought that making more money or having better marriage or when I finally have children or when I finally, have the house I want or whatever, fill in the blank, this would come. And that's what happens in the second octave is we finally realize like, it's never going to come. It's always almost there. It isn't, I'm not embracing it. It's like, it's conditional. So that's what I want to speak about in this video is like, how do we embrace that space? How do we exist in that space? And like, what are the 5 things that bump us out? The neutrality bumps, the things that kick us back into that duality of like rat race, good or bad, right and wrong. And that's really loud. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. And keep us from unconditional harmony. So the first one is we get addicted to the tools. We think, okay, I got to practice these tools. I got to do this thing. And then I can have this ease and this freedom. And so, yes, nutrition, diet, awesome things to eat, vibrantly alive foods. Drinking clean water, taking care of the body. All of these things assist us in living in harmony. But if we're doing them out of, oh my God, I've got to eat the right thing. I can't eat the wrong thing. And we're doing it with this intensity to get somewhere. It totally blocks, it creates the opposite effect. And it will prevent us from really having that harmony of like, all right, you know what? Let me just let it all go and come back into stillness. And then there's guidance of like, it comes from within. It comes from within ourselves of what to eat, what to not eat. It's a natural thing. It's not coming from this tension of, I've got to do the right thing. So the tool of like nutrition or what I should do, what I shouldn't do, or the tool of even mind body tools. Okay, wait, I got to do my breathing the right way. Oh God, I'm not doing it right. Or I took this course, but now I'm not even doing the tools. And like, I'm just totally failing at this. The tools, well, very, very useful, access us to something deeper. They are not the source. The source is within ourselves. So even if all we do is just relax the body and breathe more fully, in every moment we experience tension, that will bring us back into this harmony. And I want to speak for a minute about what this harmony is and what it creates, because it is incredibly powerful. When we're in harmony and allowing and in this inner alignment, in that space of neutrality, in that space of the heart, in that space of full acceptance, it allows the body to function in the most expressive, expansive way possible. Disease literally heals. The stress hormones go down. The adrenal glands restore themselves. Your digestion begins to work very fluidly. Maybe not immediately at first, but it will begin to harmonize. So your body can do what it knows how to do. The wisdom of the body can take over. So you don't have to work so hard to try to figure it out and make it happen. You can allow these things to happen. You receive So whether it's my relationship, or these people are driving me crazy, or I hate my job, I don't know what to do, it allows us to open to that guidance of like, turn left here, turn right here, take this trip, go see this person, make that choice, not that choice, that you'll be lit up from the inside out. Life guides you. But it requires that you're in this space of harmony, this space of neutrality. Things happen for you. You can effortlessly receive. Like when I used to do my work from duality in that second octave, it was like, hey, you got to come work with me. This is amazing. I was doing my actual work with individuals or groups in that neutrality, in that magic space of like, wow, amazing things are happening. This is an infinite power. But then I'd go over like to kind of spread the word and be like, hey, you got to do this. This is amazing. And I was coming from that space of lack, of limitation, of separation. Why? There's a million reasons why. I'm not good enough, or fear, or, whatever. But I was still operating that way. So I wasn't completely like anchored in that third octave, that space of neutrality. And so life was like really hard. And money-wise, it was like eking, like squeezing water from a stone. I knew I was doing everything right, but it wasn't really working to create the abundance that I knew was possible. When I allowed the surrender, and it does take a huge surrender to like enter into your fear and embrace it, everything changed. People could feel me because I was showing up in that authentic willingness to be fully me, willingness to be fully seen. I've met my deepest shame and despair. I've met my deepest fears, well, to a much greater degree anyway. I'm sure there's more, but I've been willing to meet them so much more fully that the true me can shine through. So even when I would just like post a little video of like, hey, I've got this retreat going on, people would call from all over, across the world, across the planet. I saw your video, I'm coming for your retreat. Boom. And they knew that they knew. And so it came from within them. They connected with something within them because I was connecting with something within me. It really ignited everything from my business and my sort of what I was doing with my life, but also for me getting to live the lifestyle I want to live. Because now instead of running up the hamster wheel, there was serenity. I could see like, no, I don't need to do that thing. No, I don't need to do that. I can just take a walk today. Or, like how much I was working, it was like a fraction of what I had been doing before because I was following the guidance. So it created way more. So, okay. So instead of being tied to the tools, because I had like learned, you got to do this and you got to do that and you got to promote this and you got to say these things. And it was like, and it didn't create what I wanted it to create. So release, sometimes you kind of transcend the tools, transcend the thing you learned or the magical diet tricks or the brain hacks or whatever. When we're going back to that, it keeps us locked in. It prevents us and blocks that true fluidity. The second thing that really blocks neutrality, blocks harmony, abundance, and vibrant health is that we're trying to learn it and understand it and figure it out. And it's like this external thing I've got to get a handle on. So I'm going to learn this thing and then I'll have this result. And we're in the mind. And when we exist in fluidity, we're in the heart. We're allowing something new to come through. I had a doctor friend we met with for dinner a couple of weeks back who is brilliant and amazing and very loving man, but he's struggling because he's like, I know I'm here to do more. I want to be doing more, like kind of like you guys are doing. And you seem to be really living a purpose, but I don't even know what I would be doing. I mean, I'm trained as a doctor, I'm doing this thing, but there's something more that wants to come out. And the guidance really was like, breathe more fully, be more present to what you feel in your body. And at first his mind was kind of glitching around that, like, no, I that's all well and good, but what do I have to do? And what if there isn't anything in here? And what if, I'm wrong? And the mind can keep you distracted from the presence of your own guidance. There's no question for this amazing, beautiful man that he is clearly here to do something more expansive that really delights himself. And when we're willing to allow that, which he really is, he's kind of like, he's right there. And kind of let the mind and what the mind thinks, I need to learn it. I need to figure it out because he's trying to figure it out first. And then he can kind of surrender to it and do it. And it will never happen that way. because the problem can't be solved in the same level of consciousness where it's created. So you can't perceive the expansiveness of you and your potentials and your gifts, or the expansiveness in the world and the opportunities, when you're in the mind state of, I got to figure it out. I got to figure out, okay, like this is the limitation and how can I get beyond it? So it's okay to let go of everything you think and everything you've learned. It won't make sense to the mind at first, but when we do embrace this state of harmony, it repatterns your mind. You'll figure it out and you'll begin to see like, oh, this makes total sense. And so then it kind of is like a new mind state, and it is a new understanding, but that comes second. So instead of trying to learn it, fix it, figure it out, allow this surrender, be present in your body, even just like relax the shoulders and breathe more fully. And obviously more tools are in the Instant Elevation program. I created that specifically to assist you in moving into this state of harmony. And instead of like learning stuff in the course, you actually embody your presence. So that's at drkimd.com/IEP, Instant Elevation Program, if that is something you're ready for. The third thing that has us bump out of this, block the abundance and the space of harmony, is thinking that is better than the space where I used to be. If I ever go back into judgment of myself of like, oh, I'm so glad I'm here now. God, I was such a crazy lunatic then. You immediately bump yourself out because you're back into judgment. Duality, that second octave, and I'm going to just draw a little image here to show you, since if you haven't seen the video, this will help you understand. So we're in this just like basic, but we're in the first octave, and then we can just kind of pictorially understand. And I know this comes out backwards, I think, when we do it this way, but and that outer edge of like, I got to figure it out. I got to do the right thing. We've got all these rules of life. I'm going to follow them. But then we come into a deeper space, like, okay, life is gonna, shit happens, and we move into that second octave, more expansive. We're like, whoa, those rules, not so true. Everything I learned. And then we're working really, really, really hard to try to figure it out. When we come into the heart, come into this third octave, that's kind of just to help you understand, like pictorially, what's going on. We come deeper into ourselves. We come deeper into connection with our wisdom. And thinking that it's better than, like, oh, I've got to get there, that is what dynamically keeps us from the true harmony. That for years, I kind of bump in and out and in and out and in and out because I was trying so hard to like stay there or to get there, or it was better because it was this like, well, higher spirituality or higher level of achievement or superiority. Superiority, inferiority exists in the second octave. Positive, negative, better than, less than, superior, inferior. And that's all about judgment. Totally kicks you in the butt, totally creates limitation, blocks you from the ultimate embracing of all that you are. So, and you can view the video about transcending the emotional scale that I posted yesterday on YouTube. We will be mailing it out next week. So if you're not on my subscriber list, drkimd.com. If you subscribe, you will receive that email with that video. But it basically talks about how we're this like rat race of trying to be positive and not be negative or feel really good. And even when we do feel it, it's conditional. Hope it doesn't go away. So that idea that it's better than kicks our butt, keeps us back in those outer lower frequencies of duality. It isn't actually better. The mind is like, what? It's so much better. It's more harmonic. It's more fluid. It's effortless. It's receiving divine grace and abundance and like all the things that nurture you physically, mentally, emotionally. And I can basically tell you that I've come more and more to a place of really embracing that the shit, the shame, the anger, all the stuff that I thought I wanted to get rid of is a part of life. And it can be a beautiful expression of life that you move through harmonically. It doesn't need to be something you finally get over or finally get beyond or continue to resist. It might not make a lot of sense from where you're standing now. Like, this is excruciating. but it is our resistance to it that makes it be so excruciating. Life is life. And when I can let myself paint with all the colors, I can move into that and remain more fully in that fluidity. The fourth one is trying to get there and stay there. So thinking it's better than the place I'm at or the place I was before, and then trying to get there. Soon as you experience conditional joy, you're like, oh God, the other shoe's gonna drop. I became pregnant several months back, got a little baby belly to brag about, super excited. And that the joy that's come into my life, I mean, if for any of you who've had a child, and we have a 5-year-old, you hold that little baby and it like blows you up. You're at a higher joy / love quotient than you've ever been before. The massivity of this joy and love that comes into your life can be so overwhelming if you're like, oh my God, what if something bad happens? Oh my God, what if this baby gets hurt? Oh my God, what if I do the wrong thing? And so like the mind will sort of like try to squash it back down. Like you can't have it that good. You can't have that much joy. Thank you for the smileys and hearts. I know this is like so true. A few weeks ago, or last week, I posted is a calibration tool that I've used to expand that love joy quotient, to allow the suppression to release so that you can, hey, I'm going to move into unconditional joy and love, not the conditional joy and love where it's like the other shoe's going to drop. And so it's not real because I'm so afraid it's going to end. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to stay there. That's another neutrality bump. That's another thing that really blocks this level of harmony that creates all things. And then the last one that I think is the most important thing to kind of integrate is not embracing where I am now. So if I find myself hanging out in duality where I'm like, oh no, I don't feel so good. I don't like how I feel, right? I'm in resistance. I don't like what's happening. I wish this other thing would happen instead. For me, impatience would come up a lot. Like, oh, this is what I want to happen. Why isn't it happening? I want this thing to happen. And so I'm not really in the harmony of what is, embracing what is, whatever the other thing is that is happening. So to remain in that space of pure love, we got to embrace all the shit. Not easy to do, especially unguided. I have had an amazing mentor. Her name is Sylvie Olivier. I've talked about her a ton. Golden Heart Wisdom is her site. And it just assisted me so much to have someone who is anchored in that space of neutrality to assist me in choosing that for myself. There is no way I was going to get there following all the people I was following who were hanging out in second octave. Hey, bigger, better, you're going to get the bigger, better thing, success, achievement. Hey, follow me. I'm doing awesome and I'm having this amazing life. And you're like, okay, I'm going to do all the things you're doing. But these people were residing in the second octave. They were working their butts off. They were secretly miserable. They were not living in the harmony that I really wanted. Externally, they had what I wanted, like money and lots of people following them and huge business or whatever. But the closer I got to seeing them, the more I realized, like, wait a minute, I don't really want to have what she's having. I don't really want to have what he's having. And yes, there's wealth and all of these things in here, but it's what's a reflection of your true essence, not just money for the sake of having money or feeling finally worthy or whatever. So not embracing where I am kept me really from accessing this level of fluidity that's available. And so having someone to guide me through, like, whoa, but so much fear is coming up when I let go of that achieving thing and like move into stillness. So much anger, so much shame. For me, it was a lot of fear. So to have a way to move through that and guidance and assistance to move through that was completely essential. It was like changed my life. That's where my mentorship has gone, working with people individually or in the Embracing Health group, which has been such a beautiful, beautiful expansion for everyone who's been in that group. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been such an amazing thing that I let be created for me. And like the way I've created in this space of neutrality is totally different. It's not in conclusion of, well, what's going to be the best thing or what's going to make the most money or what's going to make everybody happy. It's like, what's going to be the biggest contribution to humanity and to me? What's going to be the biggest contribution to everyone involved? And like some idea will come in that maybe the mind is like, how the heck would that ever work? That's not going to work. But I just allow it, and I'll allow what's getting created. And it always creates something more expansive. So that last piece, embracing what is, embracing the pain, embracing the fatigue. I did a video yesterday on brain fog, so you can stay tuned for that. We're going to email that as well, where we're just like fighting to hold on to the old mental construct, when brain fog is like allowing the dissolution of your old way of thinking so you can expand into something new. So embracing the crap, the stuff, the thing I hate, the thing I'm resisting, the thing I think is absolutely unacceptable is the last key. So I would invite you to this, and certainly the work I'm doing and I'm sharing is what, that's the key of how I assist people, is like, you can move into embracing all that is, the whole universe opens up. Health, wealth, abundance, joy, love. It's all here for all of us. So I will complete with that. And I'm going to read a few of these comments of what people wrote. There weren't a ton of questions, but more just like, hey, thank you. And people who are appreciating this. So that's great. And Heather has said, it's easier to get to true harmony when you just trust is it easier to get to true harmony when you just trust your instincts? It's hard to understand how to get there. So when we let ourselves feel, like actually feel the energy in the body, and you can start physically. Okay, I'm going to put my hand on my heart and breathe. What does my breath feel like? The brain has been trained to block these things out. It's like, I'm going to figure it all out. I'm going to run the world. Nothing's really happening in the body. It'll run itself. I don't need to worry about that. And we disconnect from registering consciously what we are experiencing, what we are feeling. But the body is a giant receptor. It's like a divine receptor of guidance and truth and awareness, and what will create the most, and what choice can I make that's going to really be a contribution to me. And so if we're disconnecting from that, we lose it. The mind will never register it. Try to get your mind to answer that question. What will be the most expansive thing I could do today that will just open up my life in the most extraordinary way? And your mind's like, well, let me think about it. You'll never get there because it's finite, and that's okay. But the body has access to wisdom that is infinite. So if you just relax your body and feel, it begins to sort of release the that override that has the shutdown, not register what you're feeling. I don't know what I'm feeling. I'm not feeling anything. Keep practicing. Breathe, relax your body and breathe more fully. And then just feel what you feel. The more you practice, the more you'll ignite those parts of the brain back up that say, oh, of course I know what I'm feeling. I'm registering this. It's already being registered. It's just interesting that we'll see with brain scans that the brain will sort of shut down those parts that register it consciously. You're aware and it's happening, but then the brain's like, I don't know what's happening. And so you think you don't. So practice and invite that. Body, how are you? What's happening right now? And then don't necessarily, it doesn't matter if the answer doesn't come. Don't try to think of the answer. Allow yourself to tune in. Eventually, it will change your brain. Eventually, it will ignite these connections so that you have access to that information very consciously. Gail has said, unconditional love is what you are, what you are referring to. Probably unconditional love for oneself would come first. Cute baby belly. Thank you. Woohoo. Randy, I keep getting stuck in how to release attachment and surrender. When I do want to feel better, I do want more money, I do want more ease, but these things aren't changing even though I've been growing so much. How do I release the blocks without trying to get there? That's a great question. So when we connect with what it is we actually want, because it's like, wait a minute, I want more money. What is it I actually want? More peace. Maybe I'm afraid because I'm like, if I had more money, I wouldn't be so afraid. Or more freedom. Like, oh, I can choose to fly first class and stay at an amazing resort. And if I had more money, I'd have that freedom. So feel into like, what is it you actually want to access? And then let yourself access that. Several weeks back, we did a Facebook Live that was on the manifestation formula. And it's like a 3-step formula, but I really went into the detail of that, of like how to go beyond the end goal and, you know, a means goal. It's like a means to an end, and get to the end itself. What is the end? I want to feel joyful, happy, free, expansive, fulfilled, expressed, pure love. I want to feel that sense of joy. So, okay, yeah, maybe if I had more money, it would contribute to that. But until I allow myself to really embody that, it doesn't matter how much money I have. It doesn't matter how much success or how many people love me. It doesn't matter. Until I allow myself to connect with the essence of that, I won't receive it. And so, vice versa, as I connect with the essence of that, I can't not receive it. I can't not receive amazing beings coming in who are my friends, inviting me to, beautiful dinner and having great conversation, the experience that reflects that essence, or money coming in effortlessly and in really fluid ways, the experience that reflects that freedom. So that is sort of the magic of igniting yourself, igniting your body, opening to wisdom, opening to source. So it isn't about getting there as much as it's about being there. Can I let myself be in that space of the freedom, or in that space of the peace and serenity that I think that quote unquote external thing, the money, would bring me? And the more you let yourself get into it right now, even if it's just 2%, the more you'll find the world responding to you. All right. Yes, I agree. Fear holds us back. Thank you, Cynthia. I know there'll be more questions later, so I'll check in with the thread and over the next day or so to answer questions and things like that. I will be here each week for Mind Body TV Live. We are on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. And you can find me at drkimd.com. I greatly look forward to assisting you further and connecting. And yes, Lola says, brain fog is us letting go of our old ways of thinking. I love that. It's very helpful. I experienced huge bouts of this in the last few years. And for sure, it totally happens when I'm in an unfavorable situation, stress, people with creepy energy, or when I should check in with what's happening. I guess it's my version of a light bulb. I'll tune in more with that instead of wondering what's wrong with me or trying to avoid the fog. Yeah, that's why it took me like 2 years to get through that autoimmune illness. It could have been maybe weeks, I don't know, but until I really stopped resisting and looking for what's wrong with me, that the symptoms couldn't heal. And when I allowed that to happen, it healed. I mean, it was days. So all of the chronic severe pain, chronic fatigue, weight gain, like everything that was going on, all the inflammation, it was a, kind of a medical miracle. And that is what's possible within each of us, is those quote unquote miracles, which is just something that we think science doesn't understand yet, can manifest when we open into this space of neutrality. So sharing so much love with you as we complete, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.